Hi, it's Dr. Craig Duncan here, and I'm a performance scientist, and welcome to our podcast. And today we're going to chat about sleep, productivity, self-awareness, and morning routines, all these things to get your day started off right and to get you working to your maximum, because life's all about that, is trying to maximize your potential, and these areas are really critical. Now, what we know in sleep, it's a problem for many people and becoming more of an issue as we get into this busy lifestyle and everything is go. And unfortunately, I think when we are like that, we really start to miss how important life is in general and enjoying life. And much of this has just got to do with this busyness that we have. So with sleep, there are some critical things that we need to do. We need to try and get to bed at the same time each day. If we can get into this routine, we're going to be far better off going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. Historically, people used to go to bed when it got dark, and they woke up when it got light. And because of the influx of artificial light, this has changed things. The other problem that we've got is that we've got all this technology around us, from televisions, but more importantly, all the blue light that is coming out of the mobile phone that we have in front of our face or our iPad. So there's some really easy steps that you can do to start to get your sleep much more organized. The hour leading into sleep, or when you desire to go to bed, what we need to start to do is calm our mind. Now, we can't do that if we're searching the internet or we're on social media. But so start to decrease that. Look, if you still need to do that before you go to bed, there's things that you can do. You can wear special glasses that block the blue light, and this will help it. Because what we want to do is get our system right just to go to bed. And we need to start to calm our mind and move into that. So we already talked about going to sleep at the right time. So say if it's 10 p.m, from about 9 p.m, we start to reduce everything that's going on around us. Like way back in the old days, you'd probably remember your grandparents or that they might just read a book before they go, and there's nothing wrong with that. Other things that you can do is keep a journal in the evening and just writing how your day went, and then getting any of your concerns outside of your mind and down onto paper, because sleep isn't the time to start worrying about the future. The other thing that you can do is the environment that you sleep in. We know that we need a set temperature, or around a temperature in our room, so it can't be too hot and it can't be too cold. So around 18 degrees Celsius will be really good for that. We want it to be dark as well. So we don't want all bright lights on, or lights illuminating from clock radios or digital sort of devices. So we want it to be dark. We also like to keep it clean. Okay, if there's clutter in your room, it's not going to help your sleep. So these are just a couple of things that really will make all the difference. We also know that caffeine. So if you're having a lot of caffeine late in the day, it's going to affect you as well. So maybe you have your last caffeine, 3-4 p.m. in the evening, and that's going to help you. But all of this depends on you as a person, because we are all unique. But if you are having these troubles with sleep, then you can start to think about some of these things, because sleep leads into that concept of being more productive. So the problem of sleep, if you're having poor sleep, you're going to have fatigue in the day, you're going to wake up tired, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And so we need to get that started on a really good place, and then you get your day off to an excellent start. One of the ways to do this is to have a set morning routine. And I've spoken about this many times before, and we've had routines, throughout life. But one of the ones that I really advocate is morning journaling. Now, if you can become a more reflective person and you've got time in the morning to do this, and just try it for a short amount of time, and you'll start to see how much better life becomes. So just sitting down with a journal, identifying, what you want to achieve for the day, any concerns that are on your mind, what will make today great. Simple things like, what are you grateful for? Whatever it is, whatever works for you, you can do this. And it only needs to be 5 or so minutes. Just getting up, doing what you need to do, sitting outside for a few minutes. Now, there's a lot of talk also about mindfulness, and we hear it all the time, and meditation. I find personally meditation very, very difficult. However, I know 100% it will make all the difference if I can get it right. So there are a number of forms of meditation that you can do, and mindfulness, and this can be part of your morning routine. But it's about finding what's right for you. Even if you can sit for just 5 minutes after you've done your journal or before you've done your journal, just sit. Just concentrate on your breathing, or even just look into the distance and appreciate, what we have. You're going to be nice and calm moving into the day. Some people like to exercise in the morning, and that's fantastic as well. But whatever we do, we don't want to just get up, rush out the door, and before we know it, we don't even know what we're trying to achieve. So just take the time, and it's not a lot of time. And as you get into the habit, it can really build up. I also talk about self-awareness, and I think this is also critical for productivity and just having an excellent life. So often our day gets hijacked by us just not being aware of where we are at physically and psychologically. Have you ever been in that situation where before you know it, someone said something to you and you've snapped at them, you've just gone off at them, and you think, where did that come from? Well, where it came from is just not being aware of your physiological or psychological state. If you've only had a few hours sleep the night before, then that's going to lead you to be fatigued and just not at 100%. But just simply by becoming aware, and this can track back into your journal. In the journal in the morning, if you identify your where you're at, just some basic numbers that you can record. Just say, how was my sleep out of 10? How am I feeling? What's my fatigue levels? Any of that sort of stuff is going to make you more aware. So when you actually get to the office or get to wherever you're going to go and you have to perform, someone says something to you and it raises an emotion, that you're going to have that space in between to be able to go, hang on, I know I'm not 100% today. The other thing, it could be that you're going into an important meeting, identifying exactly where you're at physically and psychologically before you step into that meeting, that you might be vulnerable to making a poor decision. But if you can be aware, all these things are going to be taken away. We do this in high performance sport. At all times, we monitor athletes, so we identify exactly where they are at physiologically and psychologically. And I think it's important for sport, but I think it's more important for us in everyday life that we start to become aware. And that leads into productivity. Productivity is the outcome of these steps. And there's more that goes into it, but just today we'll talk about that. We can't be productive if we don't have good sleep, or we can't maximize our productivity if we don't have good sleep, don't have some form of routine in the morning, are not aware, and also if we don't get our nutrition and exercise. And I'll be talking about that in the next few weeks, but all these things go into productivity. I think there is so much information about being more productive, getting that right, but I think we miss the critical step about being, where are we at physiologically and psychologically? Okay, we can have all the advice we want about how to handle email, how to be more efficient at work. But if we're not right in ourselves, that's not going to be possible. So just think, productivity is an outcome related to these other critical areas. There's a nice equation that I go by in respect to performance. Performance is basically your capacity times your motivation minus what I term the noise. And the noise are things like fatigue, stress, all that sort of stuff, which takes away from your overall performance. And even your motivation is going to be decreased if you don't have these things, these critical steps in place. So before you know it, I don't know if we always realize just how important getting these foundations right. We're thinking about maximizing our performance and being more productive wherever we are, but it's so common that we haven't got the noise right. We haven't fixed that up. So even though we might increase our capacity, if we're increasing the noise at the same time, our stress levels are up, our fatigues are up, because you're trying to be more productive by working late into the night, but you're not getting the sleep right, there is no chance the outcome of that is going to be positive. So these are just simple things that we need to work on. They are very, very simple. And I think in our busy lifestyle, we've just missed it. So I'm going to talk about this over the next few weeks. We'll continue. But yeah, just start to think about that. It's not going to happen overnight. That's the other thing. And too often we expect things just to happen like that. But if you know you're starting with the end in mind, you can identify the issues, you can reflect each day on what is going on, and then move towards this lifestyle that has all this in order, then you will become more productive and our performance will increase.